Hello everyone and now welcome to a game Infi versus Happy. This game taking place here on Tidehunters 1.2. Infi opening things up as the teal orc on the top left hand side of the map. Ultra of Storms, Blade Master, Grunts most likely going up against Happy, who is opting for that classic Death Knight first. Getting to that 2 minute mark to get past the original openings here, and with that we're going to be looking at the creeps getting pulled back. I wonder what the reasoning is to try to get them pulled back that far and then perhaps get them reset. If I ever run into Happy, which I probably will never run into Happy again, I'll try and remember this particular situation. Meanwhile, Blade Master, first by Infi, brings a mirror image all the way across here, as the Blade Master's mirror image does deal a little bit of damage and is able to cause a bit of disruption. That mirror image, perhaps going to try and take down the skeletal minion, does do exactly that, as the Blade Master now slicing and dicing his way through perhaps a ghoul or two. Easy 200 hit point heal is possible. Units are going to be backed away here. We are looking at more ghouls getting trained up as they do fall back. Icon fix, yep. Previous icons were of the reforged variety. Not quite sure what that was about. Um, just as a heads up and a reminder, these icons are actually part of the overlay system, not directly part of Blizzard's overlay system, as they didn't even bother to build one. Coming back through, Blade Master going after the Acolyte here. Acolyte actually getting caught in the back corner. Is it going to get taken out by creeps? I do believe so, but apparently grabbing aggro are the Blade Master and Grunts, and they're going to be forced to retreat back. All right. Mirror image getting cleaned up there. Necropolis already taking the tier 2, and Infi is taking a tier 2 as well. We should be looking at a Shadow Hunter coming across from the Orc side, and well, it could be a Dark Ranger or a Lich coming in from Happy. The second hero often not predetermined and preset, as we see a Death Coil come across from Happy to get that last shot there. All right, Death Knight coming back across. Are we going to see Infis? Well, Death Coil onto a low hit point Grunt. That was only 100 hit points. Their skeletal minions are trying to rack up a little bit more damage. Happy perhaps trying to line up two subsequent Death Coils to get that Grunt kill and take him down. All right, Death Knight of Happy having a plan and executing it well, using and taking down an early Grunt to force Infi back just a bit. All of these small wins early on do give the Death Knight a little bit more experience and kind of forces a little bit of a slower play by Infi. Losing a Grunt means less damage, and well, real-time battle league, real-time strategy games, any RTS is really a game of seconds. I've talked about this always. The one thing that both players always have the same amount of is the same amount of time in the game. And it's what they choose to do with that time that they're given to really make impacts overall. Death Knight now trying to retreat back here. It looked as though, well, yeah, it looked as though that mirror image was attempting to take down one of those Mantle of Intelligence items. Not going to be able to do that, as the Death Knight are we going to be looking at no Ritual Dagger at all, so no easy heals, as the Shadow Hunter is already out on the battlefield. And are we going to be looking at the Halls of the Dead? No, well, Halls of the Dead, but no second hero yet. Death Knight now out on the board here with level 2 Death Coil. Gonna see some bigger heals overall, as the Blade Master mirror image now making his way across. The Blade Master with 2 additional Rings of Protection, gonna be difficult to focus down with auto attacks. But then again, when has Undead ever focused down units with auto attacks more than Death Coil, Frost Nova? All right. Both sides sitting on one base play. Orc is staying at tier 2. Undead going to tier 3. There's that slaughterhouse coming online now. And with that slaughterhouse, we should be looking at some obsidian statues. And, well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Undead often just needs heroes and obsidian statues to close out a game. Level 3 Blade Master, level 1 Shadow Hunter, clearing out this Snapper Creep Camp Replenishment Potion drop for the Blade Master there. Always a nice item, as the Death Knight comes across and steals once more a bit of experience. denying that Shadow Hunter precious experience there. All right. Rock Golem purposely trying to draw some aggro. Blade Master getting in some damage here. All right, what's going to happen? Mirror Image getting actually in front. Scroll of Speed trying to go down onto that or Death Knight. Death Knight could have a lot of problems there. One more shot, and it does get taken out. Beautiful shot and beautiful follow-up by Infi using Hex, but also having the foresight to bring down creeps. Infi's Mirror Image aggroed the creeps, brought them over, and caused traffic. With that slight change in traffic, the Death Knight was forced to go around the other way, and in going around the other way, ends up taking an additional Hex and getting finished off by that Blade Master. Beautiful play there. Shadow Hunter now looking to back away here. A couple of grunts going to finish off the Forest Troll, High Priest, and Forest Troll here. Meanwhile, down to the south, Wind Riders with Envenom Spears looking to, focus down. I believe that has Envenom Spears. Did it have Envenom Spears? Apparently not. I don't know what all of this poison is from. Is it just slow poison? All right. They did get poison. I'm not quite sure where from, though. Maybe there's some creeping that I had missed in the battle, perhaps the Flesh Eater or something of that nature. Yeah, could have been the Flesh Eaters. All right, Infi's Mirror Images are just causing traffic all around the battlefield. We're going to see, what is this? Are the Murloc Nightcrawlers going to make their way over? No, they are not. I thought for an instant if Infi was able to pull these into the Lich trying to do a creeping, that would be even further set back. Meanwhile, we are looking at a Goblin Alchemist as the third and final hero over the Dark Ranger. Interesting choice considering how big a part of Silence has been in trying to shut down the Blade Master and Shadow Hunter. We're not going to be seeing Silence in this game, instead seeing some Acid Bomb and perhaps some Healing Spray. Death Knight now back on the battlefield, retrained, ready to move out once more. Destroyer, getting in some auto attacks here. We're looking at 3-2-1 going up against a 4-3 with now a tech to tier 3 by Infi. Wind Riders ready to go. That's going to take down some Goblin Laboratories and perhaps some Forest Troll, High Priest as well. Meanwhile, on the southern side here, Lich going to go after the Gargantuan Sea Turtle, get a little bit of damage in. And with that damage, try and inch closer to level 2 on that Alchemist and perhaps level 3 on that Lich. That would be a big double level up. Suddenly getting that second ability is that Chemical Rage. So Chemical Raging Goblin Alchemist. Interesting call to go for a Chemical Raging Goblin Alchemist over Healing Spray. Then again, the Goblin Alchemist does not have the ability to be healed by the Death Knight. So perhaps, I don't know if the hiring of the Goblin Alchemist was an accident, was perhaps trying to go for Dark Ranger and then got the wrong hero instead, as we're looking at some, Wind Riders trying to poke things down here. All right, there's a Frost Nova going down. There's Acid Bomb across the Wind Riders. Perhaps that will be enough there as a Goblin Alchemist forces a retreat on one of those Wind Riders. Another Wind Rider, is he going to be get as lucky? No, he is not. Not going to be able to stay alive here. Big auto attacks against the air as the Destroyer going to get taken down as well. Both sides exchanging blows as the Shadow Hunter trying to retreat back here. Blade Master does have the Mirror Image, does have Orb of Lightning, so able to get some purges down onto those units. Gargoyles now making their way over. There goes another unit there as the Death Knight goes up to level 4. All right, so another Destroyer getting taken down. Wind Rider going up against Gargoyles, and the Wind Rider's piercing damage inching out just a little bit as they had a bit more hit points before before that chase. Meanwhile, Destroyer going after the Blade Master Shadow Hunter. Shadow Hunter trying to retreat back here. Mirror Images could just get Devour Magicked by the Destroyer, and that's going to give them a bit more hit points and mana in that next attack. Maybe have a negative armor. Yeah, that Acid Bomb does make a difference. Getting that negative armor, being able to rack up more damage. At the same time, though, Panda's Breath of Fire coupled with Lich's Frost Nova is often enough to blow those low hit point Wind Riders out of the sky. Also, we're looking at the Death Knight holding the Orb of Corruption instead of the Lich in order to gain attacks on air. 48 supply compared to 49 as the Blade Master mirror image, well, trying to go after this Granite Golem creep camp. All right, a little bit of separation, perhaps a little bit of divide and conquer here. There's some damage retreating back, and now gonna go straight after that Granite Golem. Granite Golem taking damage here. There is some of that poison. It doesn't seem to be lasting very long, as we are now looking at Happy coming back around the other way. Legion of Doomhorn picked up by the Shadow Hunter. Devotion Aura as well. Two very big items. Low hit point Grunt needing to retreat back, and a beautiful move by Infi, making sure that the creeps are in between the two armies to try and ensure, not a full creep jack here. All right, Gargoyles, Wind Riders are going to perhaps try and poke down. Mirror Image coming back across here. Destroyers could just come across, get some Devour magic across these targets, as the Sea Giant Hunters now falling back, giving level 3 to the Goblin Alchemists. 4-3-3 going up against two level 4 heroes. Infi breaking into low upkeep on accident, coming back down. Blade Master getting a lucky purge onto an Acolyte. Acolyte going to get finished off with a 186 critical strike. A bit of overkill. And the units are still, or as the creep camps, still getting cleared up here. The majority of the creep camps have now been finished off. Only a handful left on the top north. Another Ring of Protection +4, perhaps now given to the Shadow Hunter here. Are they going to be sold to pick up some additional items instead? Potion of Mana, Clarity Potion there. No Potion of Mana. What is the Blade Master going to do? Blade Master going to, well, pick up, drop some items, get some more mana going as well. Both sides sitting on one base play. One Grunt getting denied there. So one Grunt getting denied in order to go for a Kodo Beast, or Warsong War Drums Battle Increase. All right, so killed a Grunt and then trained up, okay, this Kodo Beast here. So going two dual Kodos, now currently sitting at 50/61 supply compared to 50/60. If they can make Wind Rider high upkeep with no collision radius, they can buff Grunt's collision radius even just moderately. Well, isn't that some of the benefits of air units, that they have small air units, that they have small collision radiuses, and therefore can get big damage in? Also, air units, their collision radius being small is their advantage, and 9 supply Grunt with buff collision.
A player's forces are under attack.
Why don't you tell me why you think that would be good, rather than try and have me figure out your thought process? Why would decreasing the collision radius be good for Grunts? Yes, more targets would be able to attack at melee range, fighting side by side, but they Grunts wouldn't be able to hold a line nearly as well either, as enemy units could perhaps swarm around them and get to those weaker units in the back. All right, there's going to be a trade-off there, especially as Grunts in that front line, perhaps trying to hold off attacks, would be better. Maybe Tauren could have lower collision radius, and therefore they wouldn't be as exposed to as much melee damage at the same time. Grunt got metal armor, yeah. Thorium upgrades. O2 upgrades currently for Undead on those destroyers. Meanwhile, 1-1 upgrades for the Orc. Orc, however, interestingly, the 1-1 upgrades, the Wind Riders, also have Devotion Aura and Warsong Battle Drums. So that is essentially giving another 0.75 of armor upgrades, and then another 2.5 upgrades on the Wind Riders themselves. So that's why there's that +9 piercing damage. So that does add up pretty quick. My thought was still make Wind Riders like efficient animal war training, reduce their supply from 4 to 3, and that would be enough of a buff to Orc Air, as yeah, as it feels like Orc Air just doesn't scale very well at tier 3, and trying to go for Tauren at mass Taurens at tier 3 also seems as a bit of a misstep or a danger as well. Grunt armor is weak to magic, right? Yes, heavy armor is weak to magic, and that is that particular magic type there. All right. Happy looking to set up his expo, haunting that gold mine here. Are we going to be looking at a tiny great hall? No tiny great hall, even though we are at tier 3, and we are looking at a couple of watchtowers being placed down too. Main gold mines have about 5 minutes left, so both sides aware and cautious of the next move. 17 or 18 minutes into this game here, how is this going to all break down? Mirror image, watchtower, wind riders wanting to go after these destroyers. Destroyers having 0-3 upgrades now compared to the 2-1 upgrades of these Wind Riders. But remember, the Wind Riders getting a bit of bonus damage from those Kodo Beasts, and also getting Devotion Aura and Unholy Aura from that Shadow Hunter. So some interesting well, mechanics and things to consider here as both sides are going to try to engage. All right, there's some illusions, and oh, what an interesting situation. One Troll Bat Rider exploding itself onto a gargoyle, but interesting enough as well is that the gargoyle themselves, they were getting some got purged down, and that was included that very low or that very vulnerable illusion. So that took additional piercing damage there, as we're looking at some damage getting racked up. All right, both sides fighting their way through. Gargoyle is getting picked off. Frost Nova going down to the Wind Riders. Wind Riders trying to retreat back. A little bit of attacking going back and forth here as the low hit point Kodo Beast falling back here. Are we going to see some more purges? And it really feels like Purge with Mirror Image just seems to be stalling out Happy's air units left and right. All right, continuing the poke. There goes another against Happy, and Happy losing another low hit point, or another not Kodo Beast, destroyer there. Coming back through, quite sure no air have it. Yeah, no air. No flying machines have heavy armor. Making for interesting battles. Both sides going back and forth here. We can see, well, Happy, very happy to have his haunted gold mine. Someone seems very confused that I just said flying machines have heavy armor. I'm pretty sure they have heavy. I don't think they have medium. All right. Reveal right there. And yes, that was all just to try and make way for the tiny Great Hall. No dust of appearance. That was just a reveal from that laboratory. As this tiny Great Hall gets done, well, Infi will have easy access and easy mining. Main gold mines, 2.5 minutes of mining left. So main gold mines will fall around the 23. Please verify. Is it true? I'm like 99% sure it's true.
A town is under siege.
Coming back down to the south side here, Blade Master Mirror Image going after this. Well, Acolyte, critical strike here. We're just going to see, well, the quick Devour Magic stopping that in its tracks, but really buying time for Infi to set up this expo off to the north. This is 4 out of 5, not a full saturation. Also no Orc Burrow here, as the army supplies about the same, 64 compared to 66. No one with a clear-cut advantage, but Infi really wants to push into level 5 across his Death Knight and that Lich. The bigger question will be whether or not the Shadow Hunter can get to level 5. If the Shadow Hunter is at level 5, level 3 Healing Wave is then available, and suddenly those Wind Riders, which are very much glass cannons, should be able to stay alive a little bit longer. We have also gone into Berserkers by Infi. Hi there, just discovered you on YouTube. Really enjoy your content, Procaster. Well, thank you. Not a Procaster, don't do this for a living, but do enjoy doing this for so many years. Coming back down to the south side here. Obsidian statues, 3 of them. Happy, perhaps going to try and transition his way, getting destroyers with maximum mana for this next fight. He's already sitting at 75 over 80 supply though, so he is already starting to push up against that upper upkeep. He does not want to go into the upper upkeep, as that would put him even further behind economically, and it's difficult to try and replace your units. Really, this game has been a game of mirror image, orb of lightning, purging down many of those destroyers and then forcing them to just stay in a place. That's something that we haven't seen a lot of recently, and because of that, well, because that the destroyers are losing their mobility because of purge, well, it's actually worth it to try and chase them or focus fire them down, since they can't get away nearly as easily. Flying God heavy armor. I just googled it. Thank you. All right. Coming back around. Blade Masters, are they going to try and engage here? What is going on? Blade Master is just pretty much walking around here and heading around to the south side. What are these Blade Masters looking to do? The Blade Masters making their way through, just getting a little bit of sight, doing a little bit of tapping, as the haunted gold mine has now been unsummoned. All right. Some damage coming across our... I'm trying to see if these are getting purged. Yeah, they're not getting purged, so maybe it's just the primary Blade Master's ability to get those purges, and it's proccing often enough to cause problems. All right, main attack by Happy, now pushing onto these fortified buildings. They're not going to fall easily, but if you give them too much time, they still are going to fall. Blade Master coming across here. Are we going to see some purges? No purges as of yet. Nothing to force an engagement. And without Raiders for ensnare, that's just a little bit of missed opportunities. Blade Master's trying to come back across here. There we are. There goes another Devour Magic. Plenty of destroyers. Destroyers up to 87 over, or showing 87 over 90 supply now. As the destroyers do not have, as the destroyers have mana, they are going to cause a little bit of splash damage. There's a Death Coil trying to find some easy targets, but pretty much all of them are still on full. Gargoyle is going to try and engage. There's an Acid Bomb. This is going to be an absolute terror in the skies. Healing Wave trying to bounce around here. Berserkers, and just great position by Happy, just forcing Infi to try and chase. 78 supply compared to 68. Still a supply advantage as Infi is trying to retreat back with these Wind Riders. Wind Riders are just all getting decimated out of the sky here, and Happy with some great positioning, choosing to force a fight in a certain spot, getting to level 5 now on that Death Knight. Shadow Hunter going to be dead in a very bad way here in just a moment. He gets focused down, level up on the mirror images. Blade Master, is this going to be enough there? Can he get level 6 Blade Storm and get it going? But it does not look like there's enough mana left anymore. Blade Master, even with, well, Potion of Invulnerability, trying to focus down these units, but the army is going to be too much. All coming down into this final battle here, but Infi seemingly losing a bit of control with his units and allowing Happy to get into the mid 80s, 87 supply, able to force an attack, move around, and then with that, just trying to defend multiple places at once, kind of fell apart. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Yeah, look at the final scores here. How close they were in the end, and that was really because Happy closed in on that hero score. For a long time, Infi had more experience on those heroes, but that start of that final battle, taking down a couple of those Wind Riders, and such a big impact, and also just not getting the purges that we saw earlier from that Orb of Lightning.